Hello, my name is Taylor Dowdell, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Herman Melville. So, a little bit about Herman Melville according to Parker. Herman Melville was born August 1st, 1819, in New York City. At the age of 19, he worked for a merchant ship that traveled from New York to Liverpool, England. In 1841, he also worked for a whaling ship, and that made it his second voyage. An additional fact about Herman Melville would be that he was an elementary school teacher at the age of 19, but it didn't really work out, so he ended up stopping that. Also, some more fun facts about him. His journey. So these sea voyages that he took, journey of sea travel, it led to his literary career ultimately. So whenever he would go on these sea voyages or whatever, it would stimulate him to write. It would inspire him. Moby Dick is considered his most popular work that he ever did. And many will argue that it is probably one of the greatest American novels that was ever made. He also completed another work called Billy Budd in 1891, but it was not published until 1924. As time passed, Melville wrote much less. Billy Budd, again, was written near his death. Some say it really wasn't all the way completed, and even today there are still many versions of Billy Budd because many authors put it together how they thought it should be, in what order or whatever, since it wasn't finished. And he died of a heart attack in New York City on September 28th, 1891. Also, another additional fact would be on one of his voyages, Melville and a crew member, they desert this ship at the islands. I want to say it may be the I can't really pronounce it. But he lives with this tribe full of cannibals, and that influences him or inspires him to write one of his first novel. And it's called A Peep at Polynesian Life, 1846. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Billy Budd. And that again is one of his works that he wrote right before he died. They had the many versions about it. And I gave a quick little summary about it, nothing, too long. Billy Budd was a young man that was beautiful and pure. His innocence and attractive looks is what made him beautiful. Since he never confronted evil before because of his innocence, he is also unable to recognize it. In the end, Billy Budd's innocence is defined as him being naive because he puts his trust in Claggart. Claggart is evil and has a deep hatred for Billy Budd. Also, if you guys are wondering why I put this flower on here in the left-hand corner, it's supposed to be a symbol of purity. And then in the right-hand corner, you can see the book, and then I have good versus evil, basically giving you the overall general, discussion of what I'm going to be talking about today. So my literary text that I got, in the poem Billy Budd, Melville makes a reference to Claggart's wickedness by stating, "For what can more partake of the mysterious than an antipathy spontaneous and profound, such as is invoked in certain exceptional mortals, by the mere aspect of some other mortal, however harmless he may be, if not called forth by this very harmlessness itself? Now there can exist no irritating juxtaposition of dissimilar personalities comparable to that which is possible aboard a great warship fully manned and at sea. So if you don't really understand this or don't really know where I'm going with it, I'm going to explain it all. So the second part, that basically I took that big quote and I broke it down in half into two parts. And so the first part, I cut it off, and again I'm going to read it. For what can more partake of the mysterious than an antipathy spontaneous and profound, such as is invoked in certain exceptional mortals by the mere aspect of some other mortal, however harmless he may be, if not called forth by this very harmlessness itself. So, what I mean by that, basically, is in this quote you see this question. It's a question mark. That's what this quote is. So, what I'm trying to get you guys to understand, what is the question asking, and what I interpreted from it. So what I got from it, Claggart, for whatever reason, because that's who they're talking about, that's who this quote is being referenced to. Claggart, for whatever reason, hates Billy Budd, and it's unknown. Like, why does Claggart hate Billy Budd? Even though Billy Budd is harmless and hasn't done anything to him, Claggart hates him. Claggart has a deep hatred for Billy Budd with no logic behind it. So basically it's asking, why does Claggart hate Billy Budd? He's done nothing. What is the reason? He's harmless. So that's basically what I got from the text. Also have like a question mark in the top right hand corner just to show you guys, the overall question, and you guys see at the bottom the good versus evil theme again. Okay, so this quotation is from the second half of the quotation mark of the quote. So Melville states, now there can exist no irritating juxtaposition of dissimilar personalities comparable to that which is possible aboard a great warship, fully manned and at sea. Now, basically, what this quote means, so what that basically means is now two diverse entities among many can inhabit the same space. So when you think of two diverse entities, and I'm not even trying to make it even more complex than what it really is, obviously the two diverse people would be Claggart and Billy Budd. So those are the two diverse and dissimilar things that obviously are coexisting. So ultimately, I interpreted that Melville is referring to Billy Budd and Claggart, and Billy Budd being innocent and Claggart being evil. So that's where the dissimilarities come in place, and that's where it refers to dissimilar personalities. Also, Claggart was on the warship first, and what happened was Billy Budd was drafted onto the warship, and he later came on the boat. So when it refers to now, if you're wondering why now all of a sudden, now you have these two different people are coexisting now that he was drafted onto the boat. Also, yeah, so like I said, they're coexisting at this point. And I have this globe, and as you can see, you see the devil at the bottom with the little tail, and then at the top you see the little halo. Again, good versus bad pictures type theme again. Okay, so now let's talk about the theme of the novel. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, or that I'm going to state, Billy's purity is in stark contrast to Claggart's wicked and corrupt ways. The brutal world, and the second one would be the brutal world will not allow Billy to sustain his piousness. Okay, so referring back to the first thing, so Billy's purity is in stark contrast to Claggart's wicked and corrupt ways. So Billy's purity, you know, Billy is beautiful. People in the novel, you know, talk about how he's so innocent, he's beautiful, he is very attractive. He's just this great guy and just pure. And then later on in the novel, Claggart is being introduced, and obviously he's the villain. And throughout the novel, Billy Budd and Claggart have, their encounterments, and a lot of times Claggart is very sarcastic and is mean, being mean, but because Billy is so pure, he doesn't pick up on it. He's just that naive. And eventually, in the end, is going to get him in trouble. Then, the second one, the brutal world will not allow Billy to sustain his piousness. You basically is talking about it's hard for Billy to continue to be good because, evil people are constantly agitating him, such as Claggart himself. Also, we all know that, evil takes a liking of ruining the innocent. It's always, been that way. So in other words, a worldly view would be from it, sometimes no matter how hard you try or to have a good day or try to do good or whatever, or try to stay on the right path, somehow, some way, somewhere along the road is going to be a bump. It's going to be something that's going to make you become abnormal, So that's what I mean, by the brutal world, not allowing Billy to sustain his piousness. Finally, here's my works cited page, and you have Parker Herschel. Well, Herschel Parker is how you pronounce it, in a biography, volume 2. Then you go down and you have Leona Toker, and it's a reference guide to short fiction edited. Then you have the Billy Budd. This last citation is actually the book, and is published by Tom Doherty Associates. I didn't too much quote Leona and Herschel because I really kind of, read through their works and I paraphrased it and put it into my own words. But I did cite them because that's where I got a lot of my biography facts from, and how I formulated my summary in my PowerPoint, and also the book. Obviously, I got the quote from. But thank you guys for watching and listening. Also, I did not want to forget that we had to have a PowerPoint, so I mean not a PowerPoint but a handout, so I wasn't sure if I needed to include this, but just to be on the safe side, this would be my handout. So here you have the quote, the quote, and basically if you look off of the handout with me, I will break the quote down for you into two parts, and then these are the two themes, and I will break that down as well, and I also cited the quote as well within my handout. Thank you guys so much for watching.